This microcredential deals with the forest environment and consists of 4 targeted skills. This targeted skill deals with tree regeneration. A forest is a complex system that takes decades to regrow. Forests can be harvested for timber or endure a natural disaster. Either way, the forest needs to be regenerated by some means. How that happens will depend on several factors. Methods of reestablishing a tree stand are natural seeding, sprouting, and planting. When planting, select healthy young trees that will thrive in the climate and develop into a future forest. Many hardwood species have natural regrowth mechanisms. Most forests regenerate over decades without human intervention. Often, some trees are harvested to create more space for remaining trees to grow. Harvested trees, like some maples, can send up stump sprouts or new seedling-sized trees that grow from a stump. Other species can develop a new tree sprout that grows up from the root system. Animals like birds and squirrels are helpful at seed dispersal, carrying seeds or nuts far from the tree stand. Species like maples, ash, yellow poplar, pines, and black birch have light seeds carried by the wind. As trees mature, they start to produce seeds. For example, most species of oak take a few decades until they begin to produce acorns. Different species have their own conditions for seed sprouting. Some seeds, like acorns, sprout almost immediately after finding a place with enough moisture, while other seeds take years to germinate. Some seeds need exposure to a cold period before they sprout. In general, though, all seeds need light and moisture. For softwoods, like pines, seed trees are used for natural regeneration. A seed tree must have reached at least 10 inches in diameter at breast height and have a history of producing enough cones to bear the seeds. Seed trees should be equally distributed over the area to be regenerated. Spruces form new trees from low-hanging branches that contact the soil and develop roots to give rise to a new tree. When planning to plant trees, be sure that the correct species is being selected for the site. Observe neighboring tree stands to see what species are doing well and use them as indicators for what will work on the adjacent land. Trees need to be spaced to allow for crown growth and also to decrease competition for nutrients and sunlight. Consider mixing species to increase diversity and lessen the impact of diseases and insects. Mix softwoods, like conifers, with hardwoods. Some species require deeper soil. Most tree species prefer soil that is neutral to slightly acidic. Soil drainage is also a factor. For example, a sycamore tree can tolerate wetter soils, but a sugar maple needs soil that is well drained. The USDA soil survey maps assist in this decision process. A timber harvest can be designed to promote natural tree growth and manage the forest land. For an even-age stand, stump sprouting is a robust way to regrow trees after a clear cutting, since young trees already have a root system. Taking trees from several areas spaced about 600 feet apart through a mature forest will allow trees to regenerate. For an uneven-age stand, select individual or small groups of trees for removal based upon criteria such as trees with disease or smaller suppressed trees. Cutting more mature trees opens the canopy to allow more light so that younger tree saplings can grow. Several forces of nature can threaten a new forest. Small plants will compete with young trees for light and nutrients. Invasive species, such as kudzu, and also native species will compete. Saplings in a clear-cutting must have enough sunlight to grow. Species like poplar and black cherry are not shade-tolerant, but red and sugar maples can tolerate some shade if the forest canopy is not completely opened. The biggest threat to forest regrowth in most regions of the country is wildlife, like bears and deer, but especially deer, since they browse and bite off tender new growth on stems and branches. One strategy to manage the deer herd is through hunting. Another strategy is to build a deer-safe fence around an area where new trees need to grow. Most forest regrowth occurs through natural processes like seed dispersal and germination, stump sprouting, or roots pushing up new trees. However, it takes decades for trees to mature. Remember to begin the process of planting new trees by observing conditions of successful native species in the area. Still, there will be several threats to a regrowth forest, such as wildlife and other competing plants,